The name Crow Cop, you know, it goes in one ear out the other, and that's not really what I'm thinking about. What I'm thinking about is going in there against a really good southpaw kickboxer, and I'm going to take it to him.
I watched a few of his fights. He's a good fighter, but I don't think he can surprise me.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm not going to be a stepping stone for him. I'm going to go out there and throw.
I will deliver people and audience and fans what they expect to get, and that's a KO.
I'm bringing it for 15 minutes, 100%, an explosion, and let the chips fall where they may.
I know he's gonna come with all he got. I'm gonna come with all I got. I'm gonna leave it all in that octagon.
I will fight with anybody, King Kong, whoever, Godzilla. I will get down and I will slang these things. I will put him down.
You guys wanna watch one of the best fights you ever seen? Watch this scrap. I'm about to throw down.
I think you can expect a good fight. Travis is a great competitor, very good at jiu-jitsu.
I think he's an amazing stand-up fighter. But if I put him on his butt, that doesn't do him a damn bit of good.
First of all, he's going to have to get me to the ground. And once he gets me to the ground, we're going to see if he's going to be able to finish me.
I really don't see us going to the 5th round. It's just the clash of styles. Somebody is going to win. Either I'm going to take his arm home with me or a choke, or he's going to knock me out.
Another beautiful Saturday night in Las Vegas. We are sold out inside the Mandalay Bay Event Center, set to bring you UFC 67, All or Nothing. And tonight, for the first time ever, the Ultimate Fighting Championship comes your way in high definition. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg. Welcome once again to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. As we entered the year 2007, Dana White, the UFC president, promised a bigger and better UFC. Tonight, the official delivery begins with Mirko Crow Cop entering the octagon for the first time, as well as the last man to defeat Chuck the Iceman Liddell, Quentin Rampage Jackson. Now, I will tell you, the middleweight title was to be on the line tonight until yesterday at the weigh-ins. Now, the champion, Anderson the Spider Silva, came into the weigh-ins yesterday and weighed in perfectly at 185 pounds. His opponent was to be Travis Lutter of the Ultimate Fighter 4, the comeback winner, earning a title shot by winning in the Ultimate Fighter house. But he weighed in initially at 187 pounds. Now, the situation was he had 2 hours to lose 2 pounds because you have to be 185 officially in a title fight. The result, he did not make weight. So no middleweight title fight tonight. Anderson Silva is devastated that he does not get to defend his title tonight. The men will fight in a 3-round battle as Travis Lutter takes his chance tonight against Anderson Silva. But needless to say, missing an opportunity of a lifetime is embarrassing and ultimately very disappointing for Travis Lutter.
I know nobody's going to understand, and I'm not making excuses. I didn't make weight. You know, I
up.
186.5.
It came down a couple pounds. I was a pound and a half over at the end, and to say that I'm disappointed is probably a huge understatement. I'm just having a really hard time getting motivated to lose weight. I missed weight. I'm not fighting for a world championship. I up. Am I going to be a little bit disappointed that I don't have the belt with me? Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. I may never get another opportunity to fight for a world championship. I apologize to everybody that was looking forward to a title fight. I'm still going to give it hell and walk out of there with my arm raised.
If his arm is raised, it will not be with the belt around his waist. My partner's always Joe Rogan. After everything that Travis Lutter has sacrificed, how does this happen?
Well, it probably happens because Travis Lutter doesn't have a coach. Travis Lutter is a very successful guy. He does very well. He has his own style, and he chooses to coach himself. I think it's no coincidence that all these great fighters come from these great camps where they have strong coaches, like the Militich camp, like Greg Jackson's camp out of New Mexico. I think it's very important that when you're in the height of training for something that's so hard, such a difficult pursuit as a world championship title, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, you need someone who's objective, someone outside of yourself to monitor yourself and to make sure that you're ready, make sure that you're right with your weight, with your training, with everything. It's just too hard to do on your own, in my opinion.
Is it inexcusable that this has happened?
I mean, how do you have it? What possibly could be the excuse? He knows the exact amount of time he has. He knows exactly what he has to weigh. He knows what he weighs. It's inexcusable, 100%.
That being said, he will still fight tonight, Travis Lutter, and that's the one thing that he can try to do, is beat Anderson Silva and earn himself another chance, a mulligan, if you will. But in the process of not making weight, he has truly insulted our middleweight champion.
Travis disrespected the title, he disrespected the fans, and he disrespected everyone involved with the event. It's just a shame, and I don't even have the words to explain the way I feel coming into my first title defense and it not being a real title defense. I'm going to show him what kind of level of fighter fights for the championship. I'm going to fight like I'm defending my title, even if the title's not on the line.
No title defense, but a fight nonetheless, and Anderson Silva can prove a point.
Well, you know what? Anderson Silva is such an explosive guy. I would hate to see a weakened Travis Lutter taking on this animal. Anderson Silva is perhaps the most technical striker in all of mixed martial arts, certainly the most technical striker in his division, which he is the champion. Here you see him dismantling the very tough Chris Lieben, and of course, the very tough and durable Rich Franklin. Both of these guys were eaten alive by Anderson Silva. And Travis Lutter, especially a weak and dehydrated Travis Lutter, is certainly going to have his hands full against the champion this evening.
Well, given everything, we have given you, our fans, a chance to be heard. All our fans in attendance earlier were able to text their thoughts on who would win tonight in still the main event between Anderson Silva and Travis Lutter. Now, from now on, you can log on at UFC.com to get an update on the voting as well as cast your vote. So you say that this is disappointing, but there's no disappointment when you welcome two of the best into the octagon for the first time this evening, beginning with Mirko Cro Cop.
Man, we have an exciting event for you tonight. Mirko Cro Cop is the most explosive striker in the heavyweight division by far. This guy is a K1 elite striker who has made a very smooth transition in Japan to mixed martial arts. His kicks are devastating. High kicks, body kicks, his strikes, his punching, his takedown defense is excellent, and his ground game is very good as well. It's improved tremendously over the few years he's been competing as a mixed martial artist, and very exciting to have him.
And I know you are absolutely thrilled to have Rampage.
I love this guy. Quentin Rampage Jackson is not only the funniest guy to ever compete in mixed martial arts, he's one of the most explosive strikers, most explosive wrestlers, grapplers, and competitors in the 205-pound division. He's a powerful guy. He's got a ton of international experience, and he's taking on a guy who handed him his very first loss. So this is going to be a grudge match.
Title fight or not, ultimately, Joe, what we have tonight is the continuation of the delivery of the promise that Dana White has given us. It started last year with Anderson Silva, and now tonight. Two more of the best fighters of the world will make their UFC debuts in Mirko Cro Cop and Quentin Rampage Jackson. They'll have their hands full, though.
Quentin Rampage Jackson, I can't tell you how excited I am to have this guy in the UFC. Explosive, athletic, with a ton of international experience and is taking on the first guy to ever beat him, his very first mixed martial arts opponent, the very exciting Marvin Eastman.
In the heavyweight division, the long-awaited arrival of Mirko Cro Cop. Cro Cop tonight is a heavy favorite against Eddie Sanchez.
And for a reason, he is the most explosive striker in all of mixed martial arts. Former K1 star turned to mixed martial arts, and man, is it exciting to have this guy in the UFC.
Joe, let's check out our rules of the Octagon, brought to you by Amped Mobile. More mobile than you're used to. 3 judges score the bout. All bouts tonight will be 3 5-minute rounds. As always, a 10-point plus scoring system is in effect, with the round winner gaining 10 points, his opponent 9 or less, based on effective striking, grappling, aggression, and octagon control. So we are sold out here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center, and we begin at 185 pounds as the comebacks continue. For Ultimate Fighter 4 vets Scott Smith and Patrick Cote. Smith swung for the fences and delivered. Cote fell short in the finals. Tonight, one man takes a big step up. Middleweight contender Patrick Cote is part of a new breed of fighters that has taken the MMA world by storm in the last couple of years. Cote's own confidence in his abilities has led him to a 9-4 mixed martial arts record that included a trip to the Ultimate Fighter 4 finale against Travis Lutter last November. And though he fell short against the submission master, Cote is ready to get back into the win column tonight against fellow banger Scott Smith.
This guy is my buddy, but you know, fight is a fight. You know, in my head, I will go in the octagon to win this fight. So that will be my opponent in the other side, not my friend.
Scott Smith knew he had only one punch left in him after getting badly hurt with a body shot from Pete Sell in their November fight in Las Vegas. As Sell rushed in, Smith timed his delivery, and it was lights out for Pete Sell in one of the most spectacular finishes ever seen in mixed martial arts history. But for the exciting Californian, it was just another day in a career that has seen his hands of steel produce a lot of memorable endings en route to a 12-2 record.
You know what? I think Pete Sell's more dangerous than Cote is. And I think it's a very similar fight to Pete Sell, but just less dangerous.
Coming up next, it's a middleweight war when Patrick the Predator Cote takes on Scott Hands of Steel Smith. In high definition, here tonight, we welcome once again the Predator, Patrick Cote, the French-Canadian, who trains with none other than George Rush St. Pierre. Skin made of Kevlar. The weakness has been his ground game, and he realizes after losses to Joe Dirksen and Chris Lieben and Travis Lutter, as great as his resume is, he needs a victory tonight.
Yes, he does. I mean, here's a very exciting fighter, but he has been on a losing streak. He's got great hands. He loves to fight. He loves to scrap. He's a brawler. He's a very good stand-up fighter, which is going to make for an excellent, exciting fight tonight because his opponent, Scott Smith, is all about stand-up.
Patrick Cote. Knockout power burst onto the scene when he took a fight on late notice at 205 pounds against Tito Ortiz.
That was at 205 pounds. He's since dropped down to 185, which is a much better weight class for him. He trains with our welterweight champion, George St. Pierre, and David Loiseau up in Canada. A great camp those guys have up there. You see the champ there. Wishing him well, sending him into the octagon.
The Predator from Quebec City, Quebec, Canada, Patrick Cote. That UFC Fight Night win at the Ultimate Fighter 4 finale was the fight of the night. It was the knockout of the night. It was one of the most spectacular finishes in UFC history.
That was a scene that if you saw it in a movie, you would go, that's ridiculous. That could never happen. He got hit with a crippling left hook to the liver. He was doubled over in pain. And when Pete Sell came in for the finish, Scott Smith timed a perfect right hand to the chin and put Pete Sell out. I mean, it was like literally a scene in a bad B movie that you wouldn't think could ever possibly happen in real life. But that's the kind of hard courage and will to win that this young man has. He is very, very heavy-handed. He's just one of those guys that know how to throw bombs. And a lot of that is just genetic. Some people are blessed with power and they improve upon it, and other people struggle their whole life to get it. Scott Smith was born with it. He knows how to throw. He loves to fight. He's got plenty of courage, lots of heart, and he loves to stand up fight, as does his opponent. It has all the ingredients for a tremendous war.
And Joe, the big question now is how will that win over Pete Sell change his fighting career? You talked about all the other things he already possesses. Now I believe after that win, he has a new level of confidence that he had not previously attained.
Well, you know what? Confidence is all about success. Success and the knowledge that you can recreate that success. And to know that you can be badly hurt in a tiring war of a fight and still connect and put your opponent to sleep. And a tough guy like Pete Sell, I mean, he's got to be flying high right now.
Our Tale of the Tape is brought to you by Synergy, the ultra premium energy drink powered by science. The American Scott Smith, 1 year older than the French-Canadian Patrick the Predator Cote. Everything else is virtually identical. Our Tale of the Tape brought to you by Synergy. Let's get this night officially started with the veteran voice of the Octagon. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino for UFC 67. And now, it's time to begin our first bout of the evening. 3 rounds of fighting in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a boxer and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. He holds a professional record of 9 wins with 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Quebec City, Quebec, Canada, Patrick the Predator Cote. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 12 wins with 2 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Elk Grove, California, Scott Hands of Steel Smith. When the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Yves Lavigne.
So Yves Lavigne, our referee, as we are set for this middleweight matchup to begin things here tonight.
Ready, sir. Fight!
Cote and Smith. UFC 67, all or nothing is underway.
Nice leg kick by Cote.
Cote with the Team Sit-Yo-Tong on his left leg, doing some training with Mark Delagrati and the boys in Boston.
Another leg kick by Cote.
Those are Team Sit-Yo-Tong kicks right there. Delagrati, of course, was part of the Ultimate Fighter 4 as one of the coaches. Both these men were on the Ultimate Fighter 4, the comeback.
Good body shot by Cote. Scott Smith looking for his openings, covers up, moves away. Again with the leg kick.
Yeah, Cote really trying to utilize the leg kick.
Yeah, the Muay Thai training seems to be, he seems to have adjusted his fighting style a little bit. We've seen him throw a lot more leg kicks in this fight already.
Smith comes forward and finishes with a high left kick.
Couple shots by Cote, and he's got a clinch.
Both these men are willing to bring it either on the feet or on the ground.
Oh, big right hand by Scott Smith.
Great job done.
Cote smiles.
Yeah, gives him a little wink.
But that's usually a sign that it hurt.
Well, as Cote was looking to release, Smith got the right hand in. Good leg kicks by Cote early. Let's see if he continues to go after him. UFC 68 available in high definition. Coming up March 3rd. 10 in the East, 7 in the West. The Uprising from Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Tim Sylvia, Randy Couture, Matt Hughes, Chris Lytle, Rich Franklin, Jason McDonald. Tickets are sold out. It is available only on pay-per-view.
Good leg kick by Scott Smith and a left hand hook counter. Tie up against the cage. Nice elbow by Scott Smith.
And Cote clinches and tries to answer with a knee. So now they close the distance with 2:15 remaining in the first of 3 5-minute rounds. Interesting that Scott Smith compared Cote's skill set to that of Pete Sell. Pete Drago Sell, who he defeated
go, guys.
with that great finish.
Big mistake.
And down he goes.
Smith went for a knee. Cote capitalized, caught the knee and slammed him. Now Cote's on top. Now Scott Smith is not known for having a very good ground game.
And Cote can ground and pound. But Smith is back up.
Very nice job by Smith. Caught that single, spun around, got back to the top. Now he's got Cote against the cage.
And Joe, these are always interesting matchups when you have two men who spent 6 weeks together in the Ultimate Fighter house and trained together at times and ate together and talked about family and friends. And then all of a sudden you're in the octagon and you know that that man stands between you and the betterment of your career for your family.
Yeah, that's unusual, and also the fact that they train together, they get to understand and time each other's style. You know, I do believe that Cote has changed his style a little bit. It seems to me that he's added a little bit more of a traditional Muay Thai style. He's throwing a few more leg kicks than I'm usually seeing him doing. But they do get to know how each other moves. They get comfortable with that movement.
Under a minute now remains.
Good body kick by Cote. Cote really stormed onto the scene with that fight with Tito Ortiz. He knocked down Tito. He was competitive throughout, and you know, Tito's known for his ground and pound, and especially against a guy who's a natural 185-pounder, wasn't able to put Cote away. So a lot of people thought, you know, wow, this kid is going to be something, especially when he fights at his natural weight class. But he just has never seemed to have really found the success that everybody thought he was going to have. He had Joe Dirksen in a ton of trouble in that fight. Hurt him very badly, but wound up losing to a rear naked choke. And it hurt Joe Dirksen so badly that when I talked to Joe after the fight, he couldn't remember how he won. I had to explain to him.
Well, and you know what? On the show, he was very impressive against Jorge Rivera and Edwin Deweese. Got himself into the finals against Travis Lutter and was subbed out pretty quickly by the armbar.
He's a solid fighter. He's got some holes in his game.
He's got to deliver, though, tonight.
He's still learning, 26 years old. Let's take a look at some of the action from this round. Now, here's where Scott Smith goes for the knee, makes a big mistake, and just handed him the takedown. Let's take a look at that again. Cote got a gift takedown, slams him, but you know what? Scott Smith did a real good job of getting back to his feet pretty quickly and kind of neutralized the situation.
Try to box.
Mark Delagrati in the corner of Patrick Cote.
You're ahead that round. Striking and takedown. You're ahead.
And George Rush St. Pierre. Later tonight, it is still the main event of the evening, a 3-round fight, non-title fight between Anderson Silva and the Ultimate Fighter 4 comeback winner, Travis Lutter. The Spider in the house here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center, entering at 5:15 this evening. How will he be mentally knowing that the title is not on the line, and how will Travis Lutter be mentally as well as physically? We will find out that later tonight. Second round between Cote and Smith. Cote in the blue trunks, Smith in the black trunks.
Scott Smith always has such an intense look in his eyes. You can tell that's a guy that's just ready for battle and used to knocking people out. He's looking to explode with that one shot. And that's such a huge advantage, having that one-shot power. Nice leg kick there by Cote.
You can be behind in a fight and all of a sudden finish it, as he was against Pete Sell. Cote's got that knockout power as well, though.
Yes, he does. I disagree when Scott Smith compared the two guys, because he said that he thought that Cote was less dangerous. I think Cote is equally dangerous on his feet, but definitely less dangerous on the ground. Pete Sell has a much better ground game than Patrick Cote.
No question.
But standing up, Patrick Cote is he's a handful.
And that's where the majority of this fight has taken place thus far.
Yeah, and that's where that's where Scott Smith wants to fight. I mean, Scott Smith, you're not going to see him shooting for a double. He's the type of guy that's looking for a stand-up war and looking to win by knockout.
.340 now remains in the second round.
Cote struggling here for the takedown. Scott Smith doing a good job avoiding it.
And Scott Smith is one of those guys, Joe, who's just, he's a great guy, but he's kind of nondescript. You don't hear him saying a whole lot, as you said. Look in his eyes is usually one that's kind of like, whatever, no big deal. But he brings it and he comes to fight. He's 12-2 in his mixed martial arts career.
Well, he's a down-to-earth, mellow guy. He's, he's not boisterous, or he's not the kind of guy who's going to step in and brag, but he brings it. He brings it when he fights. Very unfortunate his octagon debut against David Terrell. He was in a weird situation where the referee called stop, and Dave Terrell jumped on his back. And, whoa, took a right hand. He's in trouble. He's in trouble.
And Cote sees it.
Cote smiling at him.
Well, smile if you will, but why not pounce upon him?
Oh, I don't understand this at all. I don't understand why Cote let him off the hook there.
Yeah, for sure.
He was wobbly for sure. Maybe he was thinking about Pete Sell. There's still a lot of time left in that fight. He's still hurt a little bit.
Yeah, there's no question. He's still blinking. Look in his eyes. But if you're Patrick Cote and you're a predator, jump all over that.
Yeah, I'm very confused of what happened with Patrick Cote here. It could be Patrick Cote might have hurt his hand with that shot. I mean, who knows?
Do not prolong anything that needs to go any longer than it has to here in this world of mixed martial arts. When you wound, finish.
That sounds like a kung fu movie.
It is indeed. I got it. Yes, last night I rented it. Getting prepared for this evening.
Crouching Tiger, hitting Goldberg.
That's what I'm talking about. Don't forget, inside the UFC, my partner is the host. Special edition this Thursday at 11 p.m. followed by a re-air at midnight. Generally Thursdays at midnight, but the next 2 weeks, show will be on at 11 p.m. only on Spike inside the UFC. They break away.
Nice leg kick on the transition.
A thunderous leg kick by Cote. Since Smith was rocked, his pace has slowed down drastically.
Well, he's very cautious, and I don't know if he's really recovered. He took that shot to the temple, and that's the kind of damage that does a lot to your equilibrium. As I swallow my spit. Cote looking very confident here, though.
Absolutely.
And he's got to be careful because Scott Smith, you get confident with Scott Smith, you wake up with the doctor's flashlight in your eyes.
Yeah, like Pete Sell did. And Pete Sell got confident. He thought he had Smith out. He came with his hands down, looking to chase the win, and walked out defeated. See if Cote utilizes the leg kicks that were effective in round number 1. Smith coming forward. Smith tried to duck under, look for the uppercut. Smith looking to throw the elbow at short range. 10 seconds remains in the round number 2. To begin our night here at UFC 67, all or nothing. We will head to the third and final round.
Let's take a look at the replay. This is the big right hand that hurt Scott Smith very badly. You see it caught him on the temple. You see his legs give out. I do not understand why Patrick Cote didn't jump on him here. Here you see his legs go. Patrick looked at him, then got crazy, made some faces at him, and nothing happened. And I don't know why.
Later tonight, Anderson Silva, Travis Lutter. Travis Lutter could not get down to the 185 that Anderson Silva was easily able to make. So Anderson Silva, win or lose tonight, will remain the UFC middleweight champion. Lutter misses out on the opportunity of a lifetime. What's going on in the mind of Travis Lutter right now, I wonder?
You see how loose Anderson is, even in the dressing room? I mean, he's got a cage fight coming out, and he's just giggling and throwing knees at the camera.
That's when you know you should be scared. Third and final round.
Let's go, guys. Last round. Fight!
All right, here they go.
Maybe that minute in between rounds helps Smith clear his head a little bit.
Well, I would like to know what Mark De La Grate said to Patrick Cote in between rounds. And what, good right hand again by Cote, and Smith's coming on with some right hands.
Exactly.
Smith's taking advantage here.
Smith all of a sudden powering and coming out well in round number 3.
Smith has fully recovered here for sure. Interesting to see Smith trying to take him down. Smith's got a hold of Cote's leg. Cote doing a good job of keeping that shin on the outside, trying to avoid the takedown.
Well, that early flurry here in round 3 is the exact reason that you and I talked about, that when you wound someone, you've got to jump in and try to finish the fight. Now, all of a sudden, Cote's got to worry about Smith. He's got to worry about the judges' scorecards.
Face me. Fight!
He needs to try to finish and keep no doubt out of anyone's minds that he is the winner tonight. He's given Smith another comeback chance, ironically. Cote trying to bounce around a little bit, go with his opponent. There's that leg kick that worked well in round 1. Smith won't show anything.
He's just looking for the openings.
Yep. Smith swung for the fences. Cote got him again. Smith really came with that left hook.
Yeah, he's so explosive with his punches. Just throws everything behind them.
Looking for the hook again, Joe.
Looks like Cote's going to pick up the pace now. See him pressing forward.
Less than 3 minutes remaining in the fight.
Inside leg kick.
Body shot. And now there's the hunger that we talked about from Cote.
And when Smith tries to counter, he pulls away.
Good body shot by Patrick Cote. Didn't buckle him like Pete Sell. And now it is Scott Smith pressing forward. Back and forth here in round number 3.
Hold the cage.
Scott's going for the takedown here. He's got Patrick's left leg. He's pulling it out from under him. Good job by Cote of standing up, getting out of that.
Let's go, guys. Keep working.
Closely contested contest here to begin our night.
Step back. Come on. Let it go. Let it go. Face me. Fight!
Minute 45 to go.
See if Scott Smith swings for the fences one more time. Whoa, just ducked under.
Oh, good body kick.
Yep, good defense by Cote. Now he's in trouble.
Cote's in trouble.
Smith delivered it right.
That right hand connected hard.
120 remains.
Watch the cup.
Smith trying to clinch up here. Looking to take Cote down. Two men not concerned at all about exchanging here tonight.
Well, I certainly think Cote is taking the more cautious approach. But he's also landed the most strikes.
Keep working. Come on.
Good elbow inside by Cote. He's very concerned about Smith's strikes. You can see him doing a real good job of defending himself and tying up. He's got a lock on Smith's legs, but Smith's got some good takedown defense here. Forces him up. Good shots by Cote, and then immediately clinches to avoid the counter.
Final 10 seconds of our first fight of the night.
Over the top by Smith.
And this one's going to go to the judges' scorecards. Cote believes his arm will be raised in victory. We will soon find out. Eddie Bravo's with us tonight. Eddie, your thoughts?
It's a very, very close fight, but I got Patrick Cote winning all 3 rounds. First round, I got him winning with he landed 4 good leg kicks. He got a takedown, a little bit of ground and pound. The second round, he won. I gave it to him because he landed a big right hand. That's the one that rocked Scott Smith. And the last round, it looked like Scott Smith was going to come back early in the round. He started the round with 2 big right hands and had Pat Cote against the fence, but Patrick Cote turned it around and ended up, I gave him the last round as well, 30-27, Patrick Cote.
Here's where Patrick Cote was in trouble. Scott Smith landed some good shots there. And here's Cote turning it on Scott Smith. Good body shot there. And a good combination then avoiding Scott Smith's counter. There's another good right hand by Cote.
Yep, clip the chin there. Tito Ortiz. Tito and Jenna in the house tonight. Tito looking sharp. Tito Ortiz coming off the loss to the Iceman Chuck Liddell. What a brilliant night that was here in Las Vegas. The judges have rendered their decision, and here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Patrick the Predator Cote.
He has finally gotten his first official win in the octagon. Congratulations to the Predator. Joe.
Hey, Joe. All right, I'm here with the winner, Patrick the Predator Cote, with a big smile on his face.
Finally, I can talk to you, man.
Finally. Now, Patrick, you had Scott Smith badly hurt, and it looked like you let him off the hook. Why exactly did you back off there?
I saw his last fight against Pete Sell, and I knew that this guy's a tough guy. Even if he's rock, he can throw big right hand and surprise you like he did against Pete Sell. So, I just follow my game plan, and I have my first big win in the UFC finally.
Yes, you did. Take a look at the big screen and talk us through the Mickey's replay here.
This is a pure wrestling technique. I was waiting for his knee, and he did the knee, and I just took him down. And now this is a big, his guard is very high when he boxes, so he has a hole for the body shot. So I was trying to go in and out, and just be careful about his right hand because he hits very hard.
Well, congratulations on your first victory in the UFC, and hopefully many more.
I just want to say thank you to BDT Canada, Fabio Hollanda, Sitio Tong. This team has helped me a lot. Full Contact Fighter, thank you everybody who booing me. I'll be back and you will be able to booing me again. Thank you.
Patrick Cote, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it. The Predator, I will be back. And you can boo me again. No reason to boo tonight. His arm is raised in victory for the first time. In front of none other than the King of Queens, our good friend Kevin James. A huge fan of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. The King of Queens, one of the many stars here tonight at the Mandalay Bay Event Center. UFC 67, All or Nothing, is being brought to you by Science Energy. Zenergy, great taste, extreme energy. By Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor, the official beer of the UFC. Mickey's, get stung. And by Toyo Tires. Toyo Tires, driven to perform. Toyo Tires, the official tire of the UFC. A live look backstage at Quentin Rampage Jackson getting set to make his long-awaited UFC debut against Marvin, the Beastman Eastman. That fight is coming up next here from the Mandalay Bay Event Center. So tonight we are in Las Vegas, and next month we will be in the capital city of the Buckeye State, Columbus, Ohio.
The UFC uprising has begun.
Randy the Natural Couture is back as the #1 contender in the heavyweight division.
The greatest UFC heavyweight champion ever, Randy the Natural Couture, comes back to reclaim his title.
That guy is my hero.
But 6'8", 265-pound current heavyweight champion Tim the Maniac Sylvia plans on sending him back to retirement.
He has some desire to hang on to that belt. I guarantee he's going to have to put it on the line this time.
Also, the return of 2 UFC superstars. Former middleweight champion Rich Ace Franklin. And former welterweight champion Matt Hughes begin their quests back to their titles. The Ultimate Fighting Championship presents UFC 68, The Uprising, Saturday, March 3rd from Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Live only on pay-per-view.
UFC 68, The Uprising, March 3rd, live from Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Tickets are sold out, so the show is available only on pay-per-view. The heavyweight title on the line is Tim Sylvia takes on UFC Hall of Famer Randy the Natural Couture. Also, Rich Franklin and Matt Hughes return to the Octagon March 3rd in Columbus. Later tonight, in our main event of the evening, as the Spider, Anderson Silva takes on the Ultimate Fighter 4 comeback winner, the serial killer, Travis Lutter. Our main event of the evening, later tonight, from the Mandalay Bay Event Center. Cannot wait for that, but still tonight, how about this? Rampage is ready to rock the Octagon for the very first time as he is set to take on Marvin, the Beastman Eastman. Mike Goldberg, Joe Rogan here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center. You've talked to Rampage for years. You've known him for a long time. You've seen all his fights. You've had him on Inside the UFC. And you truly are a huge fan of Rampage. Why?
Well, he's a very exciting fighter. He's a young guy. He's only 28 years old, but he's still got a world of experience. All the fights that he had in Japan, I mean, he's fought some of the top fighters in the world. He has a victory over Chuck Liddell, and he's in fact the last man to ever beat Chuck Liddell.
What do we look for when we see Quentin Rampage Jackson?
Flight time. Quentin Rampage Jackson loves to pick people up and slam them on their heads. He's also a very competent striker. I've been seeing him training lately at Legends in Hollywood. I've had a chance to see him train. The guy's in excellent condition. He is ready to rock, man. This is going to be exciting.
But he has no pushover in the opponent that he faces tonight in Marvin the Beastman Eastman, because Marvin the Beastman Eastman can bring it, and bring it as dangerously and as destructively as anyone in the UFC today.
You guys want to watch one of the best fights you ever seen? Watch this scrap. I'm about to throw down. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? When Rampage comes, he's a werewolf. I just go and do my thing. I don't know if they're ready for it or not.
Stylistically, it's a great matchup for me. I will fight with anybody, King Kong, whoever, Godzilla, I will get down.
I have to prove that if I'm 100% that I could have beat this guy 6 years ago. And he want to prove that it wasn't no fluke that he beat me.
He lost to me, and I guarantee he's in there because he wants to avenge his loss.
I just want to beat up everybody who beat me up. Who don't, you know?
I'm trying to throw a monkey wrench in the Chuck against Quentin rematch. That's what I'm doing. That's what I am. I'm the monkey wrench.
Rampage Jackson is a new addition to the UFC, and he's the only man that has beaten you that you haven't avenged that loss.
I'm pretty sure that Chuck wants to get a rematch, just like I wanted a rematch with Marvin Eastman.
You know, bottom line is you got to get through me first.
The Marvin Eastman guy, he's pretty tough, you know. I'm not looking past him.
He can take a punch, he can take a knee. He's tough.
I could take a licking and keep on ticking.
I'm throwing the sink and the table and the towels and everything that you got, and I'm bringing it for 15 minutes, 100%, an explosion, and let the chips fall where they may.
I know it's not going to be an easy fight. I know he's going to come with all he got. I'm gonna come with all I got. I'm gonna leave it all in that octagon.
This dude's an athlete. Former running back in the Canadian Football League. Absolutely as powerful a man as we have ever seen inside the octagon at 5'9", 205 pounds.
He is a tank. He's had some bad luck in the UFC. Fought Vitor Belfort, got cut open by a knee and stopped, and unfortunately went into his fight with Travis Lutter, having already been knocked out a couple of times in training, so was caught with a punch that just kind of grazed him, and that punch put him away. But he is a very solid fighter, make no mistake about it. He's a tough guy. He comes to bring it. He's a good wrestler. He's got some great strikes, very good Muay Thai. He's explosive, he's aggressive, and he has, in his opinion, a psychological advantage having already beaten Quinton Rampage Jackson.
That was in Quinton Rampage Jackson's first professional fight in July of 2000. Eastman works as a correctional officer in Las Vegas, 25 units away from getting his bachelor's degree in physical education. And physically, he is as dangerous as anyone. The one thing he is going to give away is some reach. And that's the difficulty of being as big and strong as he is and only being 5'9", is that pretty much everybody at 205 is going to be bigger, longer, and oftentimes leaner.
Yeah, I mean, look at the muscles on that guy's back. I mean, that is about as thick as you can get for a 5'9" pound, 205 pound guy. I mean, he's a dense, completely ripped, no body fat whatsoever. The guy's a supremely conditioned athlete. And you can tell just by looking at him. And that's a serious athlete right there. That guy's a threat to anybody. Like I said, he's had some bad luck in the UFC, but it doesn't mean that he can't turn it on tonight and become a spoiler. Like he said, he is the monkey wrench.
A wonderful opportunity stands in front of Marvin the Beastman Eastman. in his mixed martial arts career, including one over our light heavyweight champion, Chuck the Iceman Liddell. And now, with the dog chain around his neck, Quinton Rampage Jackson is ready to rock the octagon for the first time.
It looks like he's pulling out contact lenses.
Exactly what he did.
Wow. You know, this is Quinton's big opportunity. He's been fighting so long in Japan, and he's picked the perfect time to come to the UFC. The sport is exploding right now. It's so popular now, and he has a make a ton of money, especially with his personality. I mean, he's just such a funny and interesting guy to talk to.
Check out Tito. We could see a future matchup between he and Tito.
No, I doubt it. Very much so. They're very good friends.
Great point. They were together for a long time at Team Punishment.
Training partners.
Absolutely.
I doubt you'll ever see them. And as a matter of fact, I can pretty much guarantee it.
We will find out. We know one thing. Rampage wants Chuck again. He said he wants to get a couple of victories here in the Octagon. First, get some momentum, get rid of some jitters, and tonight, avenge his first ever loss. That to Marvin the Beastman Eastman. Our tale of the tape for this light heavyweight matchup brought to you by Zenergy, the ultra premium energy drink powered by Zions. 28-year-old Rampage Jackson, 9 years younger than Marvin the Beastman Eastman. And although Rampage is 6'1", Eastman only 5'9", the reach advantage for Rampage is only 2 inches. For the official introductions, once again, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is sponsored by Amp Mobile. More mobile than you're used to, and Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor, the official beer of the UFC. Mickey's Get Stung. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 13 wins with 6 losses and 1 draw. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 203 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Marvin the Beast Eastman. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 25 wins with 6 losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Irvine, California, by way of Memphis, Tennessee, and tonight making his Octagon debut, Quinton And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Big John McCarthy.
Step up here. Marvin, step over here. All right, gentlemen, I gave you your instructions inside the dressing room. Got any questions from you, Marvin? Any questions from you, Quinton? Fight clean, fight hard, fight fair. Step back, touch gloves, let's go.
Wow! I like how they both cocked their faces sideways like they were going to make out.
Yeah, we saw how that happened before. Pre-fight, it didn't work out very well. Here we go! For the first time ever, Rampage is set to dance in the Octagon.
Here we go.
Eastman is going to come out with a fury. This is truly the biggest opportunity of Marvin Eastman's fighting career.
He's had his shots.
Yep, he has. He's fought Vitor Belfort. He got opened up by Vitor. But tonight, as you said, with all the hype around Rampage and the UFC continuously growing, Eastman can make a statement. Rampage wants to get by this first one, win another, win another. All of a sudden, look at a title shot, put a belt around his waist. Plain and simple.
For a long time, Rampage was struggling to find good people to train with. He was training with a lot of amateurs, but now he's training out of Legends. He's also training down in Irvine. He's got some great guys to work out with. Chris Riley's his new Muay Thai trainer, and he's in a better place now, working out with Jeremy Williams, former pro boxer, who's now turned to MMA. He's in a better place now as far as training partners, and it is the perfect time for him to be in this better place, coming into the mixed martial arts Super Bowl of the UFC.
Clinch, some knees being utilized by both fighters. The best of the best, John McCarthy, our referee for this matchup. Oh, that one caught him.
Good knee inside.
UFC 67 features Rampage, Krokop, and Anderson Silva.
Good elbow there. takedown by Marvin Eastman.
UFC 68 will feature Tim Sylvia against Randy Couture for the heavyweight championship. Matt Hughes and Chris Lytle, Rich Franklin, Jason the Athlete McDonald. Tickets are sold out for the March 3rd occasion at Nationwide Arena in Columbus. UFC 68 available only on pay-per-view in high definition.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Break them up.
Let's go. Let's go.
Push them apart. Here we go again.
I see deep breaths coming from Quentin Jackson, and that could be a big adrenaline dump from all the nerves. This is a big event for him. Or it could be that he just wants to take some deep breaths. We'll find out.
And a lot of fighters have talked about that, Joe. In fact, they talked about it on Inside the UFC a couple of weeks ago, that you've got to control your breathing early on because your emotions take over and you can gas yourself without really even gassing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a huge event for Quentin. He's been fighting in Japan against, you know, top flight competitors for sure, but, you know, who's seen him over there? I mean, he hasn't been in front of his friends, he hasn't been in front of his family, and here he is now in the United States. You know, his parents can watch, all of his friends can watch on television. It's a different experience for him, and it's such a monstrous financial opportunity now.
Eastman is confident.
Eastman has so much less pressure on him. I mean, to come in as the underdog like that, and to be a very skilled guy, and a skilled guy who has a victory already over Rampage Jackson.
As Rampage will tell you, though, that was 30 fights ago. He was just a kid trying to learn a new game.
Watch your hands. Watch your hands. Close the hands up, Marvin. Don't push off like that.
Tried to come around with a left. That's a slip. As you mentioned, great long-time friendship between Rampage and Tito Ortiz.
Good leg kick by Rampage.
Rampage may start to feel it a little bit here. Eastman came back with the counter. Got control. Now there's a clinch.
Rampage attempted to throw there. Eastman is a very good wrestler. Difficult guy to take down, and he is a fire plug. Powerful guy.
I mean, how do you get one of those limbs and try to break him? Very compact.
Stop right there. Let's go.
And here we go again with plenty of time, Joe. 35 seconds remaining in round one. That last combination, that last exchange was the best of the first round from Quentin Jackson. Now it's Eastman who wants to press the action. It's almost as if Rampage's starting to find his legs now.
Good left hook on him with the hook. Eastman got rocked there.
Looked to finish with the uppercut.
Good knee to
Eastman got out of the way. Eastman delivering in the clinch.
A good uppercut by Quentin.
Watch your head.
Oh, wow.
A good right hand
uppercut again. And a good finish to round number one. The Iceman Chuck Liddell, our light heavyweight champion, in attendance here tonight at the Mandalay Bay Event Center.
Chuck Liddell, I'm sure, rooting for Quentin Rampage Jackson there. That's a big payday for Chuck.
Breathe for me. Breathe. Relax. You got him hurt. Stay off that damn cage, and when you got him against it, underhook him and leave. You know what I'm saying? It's all there for you. Everything's there for you.
You gotta finish.
He's scared, Doc. He's scared.
You took his heart away right now. You get me? Look at me. You took his heart away. Now you take it. Come in with tempo. Come in. Bing, bing. Everything's there for you. All right?
Let's take a look at some of the action from that first round. Marvin Eastman comes in with the elbow, misses it, bang, gets caught with the left hook by Quentin Jackson. You see his knees give out for him.
Yeah. Let's go, baby. Watch them uppercuts, Marvin. Watch your posture, baby.
Good finish to the round for Quentin. Marvin was very wobbly when he walked back to his corner, but he has had over a minute to recover.
You ready? You ready? Let's get it on. Come on.
Second round.
Both doing good. Keep it working.
Jackson has made a statement. And now Quentin trying to pick up the pace a little bit. Quentin Rampage Jackson in the UFC for the first time here tonight. 25 wins in his mixed martial arts career. Ducks under. The Marvin Eastman punch.
Good knee by Quinton, a good right hook to the body in the clinch.
Rampage stays busy, doesn't he, Joe?
Yes, he does.
Trying to work a clinch. Uppercut missed. Eastman looking for an answer. Quinton laid on his feet still. Rampage had the best exchange in round one. Looks to lead with that left again here in round two.
Good. I like the inside elbow by Marvin Eastman there. Taking advantage of those short limbs in a tight spot.
Eastman ducks under. Eastman is a veteran. Inside the UFC, the next 2 Thursdays will come your way on Spike TV at 11 p.m. Special replays at midnight inside the UFC.
That's my show.
That is indeed. I watch it every week.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It's all good. I learn myself a lot. We'll be getting ready for UFC 68.
So far, this has been primarily a stand-up battle. Good body shot by Quinton.
.2:30 remains. We're at the midway point of this fight, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Oh, Eastman.
Right hook by Quinton.
Eastman tried to switch it up a little bit there, throw the elbow.
At the very least, Quinton is showing, Marvin Eastman is showing that he is a formidable opponent. Quinton is world class, and Marvin Eastman is hanging in there with him.
Rampage might have taken an inadvertent finger in the eye because he kind of looked at John McCarthy, then winked his right eye. Like, seems like he's worked through it.
Yeah, he's taken a couple of those so far.
Yeah, he kind of looked at John like, what's going on here?
He's got the Muay Thai clinch. Eastman powers out of it.
And Rampage not only wants to win tonight, he wants to explode upon Marvin Eastman and make a huge statement. There's that elbow again.
Yeah, he's very nice with that elbow. I like how he's doing that. He gets in and he capitalizes on the fact that when he gets close, Rampage isn't really moving that much. And Rampage knows that it's not punching range, so he comes over the top with that elbow.
Trying to go with a knee and then an uppercut. But Eastman is hanging right in here in this round until now.
Big uppercut.
Now Eastman goes down. And it is over. Quinton Rampage Jackson knocks out Marvin Eastman.
Wow, that's it. Put an exclamation mark on it.
Hey, what?
It was those uppercuts inside that hurt him.
Rampage, welcome to the UFC.
Let's take a look at some of that. In the clinch here, bang, there's the uppercut. That's the one that hurt him. Again, he's hurt there again. That right hand to the temple, on the chin again. Big John stops it just in time. Quinton Rampage Jackson.
Eastman had been very good in round number 2 up to this point. And then bam, the uppercut and another. Then coming over the top, rocked Marvin the Beastman Eastman, down he went. McCarthy steps in, and Quinton Rampage Jackson wins in his UFC debut. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Big John McCarthy has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 49 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner by knockout, Quinton Rampage Jackson!
Rampage is victorious. Here's Joe.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Rampage Jackson. Rampage, how good to get your first win in the UFC, and how good does it feel to beat the first man to ever beat you?
Hey, it feels good. I want to thank God. I want to thank God for tonight. I got to be real with y'all. Tonight is the most I ever been nervous in my whole career because the UFC, y'all doing big things. I ain't never been this nervous for a fight.
Well, you know what? You pulled through the nerves. Beautiful victory. Take a look at the Mickey's replay and talk us through this.
Well, you know what I'm saying? I love Marvin. You know what I'm saying? He's my brother, but right now it's time for black-on-black crime. He hit me with a good punch, and I was like, man, I gotta get Marvin out of here because he's dangerous.
And get him out of here, you did. Now, how long do you think it's going to take before we see you challenge for the title against Chuck Liddell? You are the last person to ever beat him, and he has not avenged that loss.
Well, you know what? I see the way I fought tonight. I think I need a little bit more sparring. I'm looking for sparring partners I'm willing to pay. But for tonight, Chuck, come join me at the after party at Body English, baby. I'll buy you a few drinks. You know what I'm saying? We can kick it and hang out right now. When I get my skills back up to par, I'm ready to go. You know, I'm talking to my trainers and my team, see what the business is. You know, I got one more fight. All I want to do is put on a good show. This is my first time ever being booed in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry about that, but man, I had some jitters to work out, man. UFC put a lot of weight on your shoulders, baby.
Well, it was a great fight. Congratulations on your victory, and I can't wait to see you again. Quentin Rampage Jackson.
Come join me, everybody, at the Hard Rock Cafe at Body English, baby. I'm gonna put it down.
Now, that's why you gotta love Rampage. And very humble in victory as well, saying, just give me a little time, let me get my skills to their highest level, and then I would love to challenge the Iceman Chuck Liddell for the light heavyweight championship. Still to come here tonight, Anderson the Spider Silva takes on Travis Lutter. It was to be for the middleweight championship. They will still compete this evening, and Anderson Silva is angered. Angered at Travis Lutter for not making weight. Anderson Silva wants to punish Travis Lutter for that. Here tonight in our main event of the evening, and for Travis Lutter, he knows that his chance to get himself another comeback opportunity is to win this evening. Because if he does defeat Anderson Silva, then he can go to the UFC and say, hey, this time I'll make weight, this time I will win. Your voice can be heard. Our fans all over the world have been texting us early and now voting online at UFC.com. 77% thus far believe that 3 rounds, 5 rounds does not matter. Anderson Silva will defeat Travis Lutter in our main event tonight, our UFC Fight Club text question of the night, and we always answer what you are thinking at UFC.com. Science presents its international online Zenergy Girl Search. Go to Science.com to upload your video and vote to select the finalists. Tonight, we are in Las Vegas. On March 3rd, we head to beautiful Columbus, Ohio, and Nationwide Arena.
The UFC uprising has begun.
Randy the Natural Couture is back as the #1 contender in the heavyweight division.
The greatest UFC heavyweight champion ever, Randy the Natural Couture, comes back to reclaim his title.
That guy is my hero.
But 6'8", 265-pound current heavyweight champion Tim the Maniac Sylvia plans on sending him back to retirement.
He has some desire to hang on to that belt. I guarantee he's going to have to put it on the line this time.
Also, the return of 2 UFC superstars. Former middleweight champion Rich Ace Franklin. And former welterweight champion Matt Hughes begin their quests back to their titles. The Ultimate Fighting Championship presents UFC 68, The Uprising, Saturday, March 3rd from Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Live only on pay-per-view.
UFC heavyweight champion 6'8" Tim the Maniac Sylvia has won 5 straight fights, including back-to-back victories over the Pitbull, Andrei Arlovsky. Tim Sylvia is the second man ever to wear the UFC heavyweight belt on 2 occasions. The first was UFC Hall of Famer Randy the Natural Couture, who comes out of retirement to fight for the belt. The Natural Couture broke onto the UFC scene at age 33 back in 1997. He has held the light heavyweight title and the heavyweight title. And in Columbus, Randy Couture will fight as a heavyweight in the octagon for the first time since 2002. And there he is, the natural Randy Couture. He will join us in the broadcast booth for Mirko Krokop's UFC debut later tonight. Randy has been training diligently to take on a man he truly admires and respects in our heavyweight champion, Tim the Maniac Sylvia. Moving ahead, Roger Huerta redefined Survivor. His survival of the streets of Mexico and San Antonio provide him with an incredible inner strength as he welcomes UFC newcomer John Halverson. John the Hurricane Halverson became hooked on mixed martial arts after a chance meeting with UFC superstar Tito Ortiz. Halverson has impressed fight fans with his heavy hands and aggressive approach to the fight game while putting together a 13-4 pro mixed martial arts record that includes a win over the Ultimate Fighter Season 1 cast member, Josh Rafferty. Tonight, the Iowa native puts his skills to the test in his UFC debut against Roger Huerta.
I'm a stand-up fighter, so I like to throw a lot of punches. I like to throw kicks, so I'm going to be swinging for the fences.
Unbeaten over the last 2 years, 17-1-1 Roger Huerta has seamlessly made the transition from prospect to contender. Most recently, El Matador thrilled fight fans in California with a hard-fought 3-round decision win over Jason Dent that put his wide array of skills on display for a packed house at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. Tonight, Huerta looks to take another step up the 155-pound ladder when he battles hard-hitting newcomer John Halverson.
Matador does is wear down the bull, play with him a little bit. At the end of the fight, you know, he's there with that dagger. What does he do? Finishes him off.
Coming up next, John the Hurricane Halverson squares off against Roger El Matador Huerta. From Des Moines, Iowa, 5'9", 155, 13 wins in his mixed martial arts career. And the easiest way to explain John Halverson is here's a young man who truly brings it.
Well, he is a stand-up fighter. He loves a brawl. He's got a good chin and some heavy hands. Very well-rounded fighter, but this is his first fight in the octagon. And as we can see, even with a great fighter like Quentin Rampage Jackson, it makes such a huge difference. It is such a nerve-wracking experience to be in this gigantic stage, the biggest mixed martial arts stage in the world, and certainly the stage with the most attention in the United States of America.
Both men have ties to the Militich camp. Halverson trains in Des Moines with Anthony Porcelli. He's part of the Militich fighting system. He'll go into Bettendorf and work out with all the guys. And his opponent, Roger Huerta, used to work out with the Militich camp. So very interesting in that some of their training, some of their backgrounds are identically the same.
Well, as the Militich camp grows, and it is growing, the Militich fighting systems, they actually have opened up camps and gyms in other states all across the country. It's inevitable. It's bound to happen if these guys are going to have to eventually compete against each other. It's just such a flooded marketplace at this point. But, you know, I don't think that's going to hurt this competition at all, and I think it might make it even more exciting.
John Halverson met Tito Ortiz, who was then the UFC light heavyweight champion, in Des Moines about 5 years ago. Tito was doing a seminar. Halverson attended the show where he was boxing. After the fight, Tito congratulated him on the win and asked him if he'd ever done MMA. And now we stand here today with Tito Ortiz in the audience and John Halverson, the Hurricane, set to make his UFC debut. If Roger Huerta's still a Militich guy, look who's behind him. Former lightweight champion Jens Pulver, one of the coaches on The Ultimate Fighter 5, longtime Militich product. Roger Huerta, I saw him in Florida after Spencer the King Fisher had been beaten, and he wanted to jump in the octagon immediately. But he could not. He had to wait until the opportunity here to fight John Halverson. And so Huerta, who has trained with the best of the best, including Dave Manet, former UFC champion, is ready to explode tonight. He's ready to take on Halverson. He puts himself at risk so that he can fight others and he can be exciting, and he'll put himself at risk to be wide open here tonight.
He's a very solid fighter. He looked great in his UFC debut against Jason Dent. And as you said, he trains at the Militich camp. He's, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better place to train. It's the perfect environment. He's got all these tough guys around him, the Matt Hughes, the Jens Pulvers, and he's also had the Octagon experience already. He's been there. He's been through the rush. So I think we're going to see an even better Roger Huerta than we saw in his first fight.
Roger Huerta, 17-1-1 in his mixed martial arts career. Won his debut in Anaheim against Jason Dent. He certainly has had a life and a story in his life that was that of survival, and one that many books could be written about. But he has survived. He's a great young man, and he's ready to compete here this evening. Our tale of the tape is brought to you by Synergy, the ultra premium energy drink powered by science. Huerta is 23. Halverson over a decade older at 34 years old. Everything else is virtually identical. Roger Huerta, John Halverson. The official introductions from Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 13 wins with 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, John the Hurricane Halverson. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 17 wins with 1 loss and 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, Roger El Matador Huerta. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Yves Lavigne.
Yves Lavigne, our referee. A lightweight showdown here tonight. Natalie Sonoma says, let's get it going. Is that what she said?
Are you ready,
she did.
sir?
She said it's first round. Here's a kiss. That means let's start it. And here we go, Joe.
Good kick by Halverson. Goes down. Huerta on top. Good scramble. Knee to the head while he was on the ground. He was warned by that.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he took it. Needs a big
It's going to be over quickly.
That's going to be it.
It is all over. Roger Huerta.
You know,
oh my!
What's unfortunate though, it is the illegal knee that caused that damage. I would like to see that replay really quick. What happened was he went down. Huerta hit him with a knee. He was warned, but he immediately took Halverson's back, pounded him out, and that's unfortunate. It was an illegal shot that caused the damage. Let's take a look at the replay here. Yeah, Halverson was hurt bad with that knee. Here it is. Halverson throws the kick. Huerta takes him down. There's a scramble. Here's the knee. Bang! Right there in the face. He flattens out. He's hurt badly right away. This is all, I mean, he's taking a lot of unnecessary punishment here. Let's take a second look at it. He throws the kick. Boom. He gets taken down. Huerta goes to pass. There's the knee. Right to the face. He's immediately out. I mean, he's badly hurt right there already. I'm kind of surprised Yves Lavigne didn't stop it sooner. He's just taking punches in his head right here. I mean, I guess he was waiting for Halverson to recover, but Halverson was obviously badly hurt from that. That is very controversial.
And Halverson is visibly frustrated. Can't knee a downed opponent in the head. And Joe Silva is now speaking to John Halverson. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Lavigne has called a stop to this contest at 19 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout, Roger El Matador Huerta.
So it goes as a win, controversial as such. in only 19 seconds. Here's Joe.
All right, Roger, congratulations on your victory. Second victory in the UFC. Now, it looked like you hit him with a knee while he was down. The referee warned you about it, and that seems to be the blow that caused all the damage.
Honestly, I didn't hit him in the head. I hit him right in the shoulder, so I knew I didn't. It was a body shot.
Well, let's take a look at the Mickey's replay and see if we can see what happened here. Talk us through this.
Here he goes.
Throws the kick. Here's the knee coming up after the scramble.
I mean, here, I throw the knee right here, but if you see, it's all shoulder. So if he wants to pretend like he's playing possum, then, I mean, that's not my fault. You know, other than that, everybody that's ever seen me fight knows that I come in here and I bring everything I got. I fight with a lot of heart. So, you know, y para todos los latinos que están allá afuera, aquí estoy peleando por ustedes. A un verdadero latino que está aquí. ¿Está bueno?
All right, well, it did look like it hit him in the shoulder in the replay. Either way, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you again under a less controversial situation.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Roger Huerta, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll tell you what, he's a great young man, and he's extremely happy right now to win in just 19 seconds. And the replay does clearly, well, not clearly, but it does help to support that Roger Huerta got Halverson in the shoulder. That being said, the victory is officially Roger Huerta's as he wins in only 19 seconds. Still to come on a night of UFC debuts in the heavyweight division, it's Mirko Cro Cop taking on Eddie Sanchez. There he is, the world's most devastating heavyweight striker. As Dana White, UFC president, has said, he is a heavyweight Chuck Liddell. And Eddie Sanchez, a huge underdog, but it should be noted, Eddie Sanchez is 8-0, unbeaten in his mixed martial arts career, with an opportunity tonight to shock the world in upsetting Mirko Cro Cop. Jam-packed here tonight at the Mandalay Bay Event Center, beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Fans have seen it all, including a huge and sudden victory by Roger Huerta. A great job done by Rampage as he delivered with big style and delivers tonight with a win in his UFC debut. UFC 67 has been so good so far tonight. Tonight, the Mandalay Bay Event Center in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. March 3rd, we travel to the Midwest and Columbus, Ohio.
The UFC uprising has begun.
Randy the Natural Couture is back as the #1 contender in the heavyweight division.
The greatest UFC heavyweight champion ever, Randy the Natural Couture, comes back to reclaim his title.
That guy is my hero.
But 6'8", 265-pound current heavyweight champion Tim the Maniac Sylvia plans on sending him back to retirement.
He has some desire to hang on to that belt. I guarantee he's going to have to put it on the line this time.
Also, the return of 2 UFC superstars. Former middleweight champion Rich Ace Franklin. And former welterweight champion Matt Hughes begin their quests back to their titles. The Ultimate Fighting Championship presents UFC 68, The Uprising, Saturday, March 3rd from Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Live only on pay-per-view.
UFC 68, the heavyweight title will be on the line. Tim Sylvia taking on Randy the Natural Couture, and former UFC champions Matt Hughes and Rich Franklin will fight that night at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. The event is sold out, so UFC 68 is available only on pay-per-view. UFC 68 also available in high definition. A look backstage at the Spider, Anderson Silva, who recently won the middleweight title by defeating Rich Ace Franklin, as he takes on the Ultimate Fighter 4 comeback winner, the serial killer, Travis Lutter. Tremendously talented with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills, Lutter wants this fight on the ground, and on the ground as quickly as possible. A lot of Cro Cop fans in the house tonight. They love the fact that he is going to fight in the United States of America inside the world-famous octagon. The Croatian Cop, Mirko Cro Cop. is set to fight Eddie Sanchez in the heavyweight division here at UFC 67. Mike Goldberg, Joe Rogan, we welcome in UFC Hall of Famer and perhaps one day again heavyweight champion, Randy the Natural Couture. I'll tell you, the interesting thing about this fight is that it's a long-awaited debut for a man we've heard a lot about, and that's Mirko Cro Cop.
Absolutely, one of the most explosive fighters in the world today in the heavyweight division. An awesome straight left hand, an awesome left kick. This guy made the transition from K1 kickboxing to MMA in beautiful fashion. He's very fun to watch.
You know, Randy, we've talked about it a lot. Joe, you've talked about it a lot. Should we truly be this excited that Cro Cop's in the UFC?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, he's so exciting. If you watch his highlight reel, it's like no other highlight reel. It's a series of head kick KOs. I mean, he's destroyed guys like Vanderlei Silva, destroyed Heath Herring, destroyed virtually every guy who stood in front of him that chose to stand with him. The only guy he's lost to really decisively is Minotauro and Fedor, who are at the very top of the food chain. So, I mean, he is a fantastic striker. He's the winner of the Pride Heavyweight Grand Prix, which is a huge, huge win. And it's just fantastic to have this guy fighting in the UFC.
If you're Eddie Sanchez, he will tell you he won't destroy me tonight. Why would he say that?
Eddie Sanchez is a tough guy. I mean, to be able to take this fight, I mean, he's got to have some big stones. He knows why he took this fight. He knows why they gave him this fight. They gave him this fight so that he can be a human highlight reel. He knows it, but he's a tough guy. He's got a big right hand. He's got a lot of courage. And you know what? Cro Cop's been knocked out before, and crazy things happen, especially when you get a guy who's supposed to win, who's fighting in the biggest event of his entire life, in the biggest stage of the world. And just like we saw Rampage get nervous, we can see Cro Cop get nervous too. Anything can happen.
And you know what? You, the UFC fan, wanted Rampage. You, the UFC fan, wanted Mirko Cro Cop. In a matter of moments, Mirko Cro Cop will enter through the gates for the very first time.
People don't expect me to fight on the ground.
Mirko doesn't want to play the ground game.
Plus, stand-up fighting is most attractive.
Being the underdog is actually better for me. In my last fight, UFC 63, I was also an underdog, and look what happened.
I watched a few of his fights. He's a good fighter, but I don't think he can surprise me.
The name Cro Cop, you know, it goes in one ear out the other. That's not really what I'm thinking about. What I'm thinking about is going in there against a really good southpaw kickboxer, and I'm going to take it to him.
Right leg puts you to hospital, and left leg puts you to the cemetery.
Right now, he's probably thinking, you know, this kid's coming in. He has, you know, heavy hands. You know, all I got to do is stay away, set up that kick, and it'll be done. But it's not going to be that easy.
I won't underestimate not just Sanchez, but anyone who enters the cage.
He's gonna have to deal with that cage, and he's always trying to slip out from the ropes, and it's not gonna happen in this fight.
This is my first fight in the cage. I never fought before, but it will be just another fight. Ring or cage doesn't make any difference for me.
I'm not gonna be a stepping stone for him. I'm gonna go out there and throw.
I will deliver people and the audience and fans what they expect to get, and that's a KO.
You got to give this kid credit. He's got big power, he's a tough guy, and he's got confidence.
Absolutely nothing to lose in this situation. And style-wise, if you look at him, he throws a great right hand, which is a perfect punch for a southpaw. And so you want to throw a lot of straight right hands against a southpaw. He can easily dive in and catch Mirko with one of those.
He's a young guy. He's only 24 years old, and sometimes those young guys, they don't know how much danger they're getting involved in. He's got a great right hand. He started out as a pitcher before he ever became a mixed martial arts fighter, and he throws that right hand like a fastball. He's got big power, and like I said before, Cro Cop's been knocked out before. He's been stopped by Mike McDonald in kickboxing. He's been stopped by Randaman in mixed martial arts fighting. And anybody who gets hit on the chin like that can go. And it's also the situation of when a guy comes in and you're expected to beat him, there's always the possibility of taking him lightly.
Absolutely, the pressure is on Mirko Cro Cop in this situation. All the hype, all the talk about how great he is, one of the top fighters in the world in the heavyweight division. Sanchez has none of that to deal with. He can come out here, he's expected to lose, basically, and that frees him up to just go out and let it hang out. Whatever happens, happens.
And he has never lost in his mixed martial arts career. Eddie Sanchez, 8-0, looking to shock the world here tonight by taking down the Croatian.